we tend to see, I think there's a general hysteria when it comes to Muslims, and the conversation then that comes out of that is Sharia going to take over? There are all these questions that come out of that conversation, which generally tend to point towards a cluelessness in terms of dealing with Islam in particular, and how to deal with and the idea that in order to fit in, you need to assimilate, but and not knowing what to do with diversity, I think. So it's easy, I think, to polemicize the issue, to really point fingers at the Muslim community or Islam, and just validating what these misperceptions about Islam are, and they point to, oh, look how Muslim women are being mistreated, et cetera, et cetera. But for us, and so then it becomes a question of choosing between human rights and Islam, and that is a situation that I think as Muslim feminists becomes untenable to us, because we don't want to have to choose. Why should I have to choose between being a Muslim and a feminist? In fact, why should I have to choose between being a Muslim and, say, advocating for human rights, when, at least with Musawah, we see that both the two, human rights and Islam, as being completely compatible. So equality, justice, the human rights system is completely compatible with Islam. And we have with Musawah what we call the Musawah framework, where we look at Islamic arguments, we look at international human rights standards, we look at Muslim women's lived realities, and we look at constitutional guarantees of equality, and all of these are in line and completely compatible with what we're doing, and that's what we're advocating for. That is, in essence, a rights-based approach towards Islam, and how we can live, I think, with what the 21st century demands, where where democracy, where human rights, where women's rights is, in essence, the dominant ethical paradigm that we want to live by, and that is how we combine the two and live the faith that we want to live in.